There's a ton of confusion. Can I use my PS4 controller on my PS5? Is there any limitations? Is there any connectivity issues? Is there any premium controllers for the PS5? Blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna clear it all up today, guys. Let's get it. So question number one, can I use my PS4 controller on my PS5? Yes, you indeed can. To pair it initially, you're gonna plug in a micro USB cable to the front or back of the PS5 and pair it up the same way you would any other PS4 controller. As you see, we have a battery indicator up there. I can browse the menu and whatnot. So a quick side point, I do apologize if that light over there flickers at all. It does not in real life, however, it does through the lens of the camera. So right now, as you guys can see, I'm in the firing range in Apex Legends. I'm using the paddles on the back of this Hex gaming controller. Thank you guys for setting this out. It's pretty sweet. I like that little Iron Man theme there. But if I go ahead and launch a PlayStation 5 proprietary exclusive, something like Sackboy, Astro's Playroom, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Godfall, Demon Souls Remastered, something like that that's meant to be played on the PS5. And what do I mean by that? Because there's a lot of games that you can play on the PS5. I was just playing Apex Legends. I mean games that have support for the DualSense 5 controller. Okay, can't use DualShock 4 controller to play PS5 games. And as you see, if I press the options button, it's not controlling the game at all. And the reason for that is the DualSense 5 is a completely different style of controller, not only ergonomically in shape and size, but also, you know, it has a built-in microphone, haptic feedback vibration, adaptive triggers that get stiffer or lighter. It's just a completely different controller. I know that because we disassembled this one on the channel to hydro dip it. And now you can see I'm freely dragging my sack across the screen. My sack boy, I should say. So PlayStation goes with Bluetooth connectivity for both their DualShock 4 and their DualSense 5 controller. However, they do tout on their website that they are using a faster Bluetooth technology to make a wireless connection to the PS5. I personally haven't noticed a dang bit of difference, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I usually harp on Bluetooth for gaming, whether it's a headset, keyboard, mouse, controller, as it is a less superior means of data transfer compared to something like a 2.4 gigahertz dongle or a built-in 2.4 gigahertz connection like what we have on the Xbox One and Xbox Series. But I will say Sony handles Bluetooth incredibly well. I never complained about Bluetooth latency, lag, input delay on a PlayStation 4, and it certainly isn't an issue on the PS5. Now, I do believe Sony that there is a quicker wireless connection when using a DualSense 5 controller, but it's not really noticeable to the human eye unless you're some kind of esports athlete, G Fuel dripping off the mustache, you know, blood vessels popped in your eyes, can literally hear your hair follicles growing. You dislocate your right thumb before every match to get quicker maneuvering on the right stick. Would not be a big deal at all if they handled it like Microsoft, where you can use any Xbox Series S or X controller on a One, and any One controller, including all of the premium controllers such as Scuff, Razer, AIM, Battle Beaver, Mega Mods. There's dozens of them. I've tested most of them on this channel here. They're basically cross-platform compatible because the user interface on the series is almost identical to the One, and same thing with all of their accessories. They virtually switch right over. So, you know, obviously we disassembled and customized both of these on the channel here, and taking a look on the insides, I was able to clearly tell this is almost identical. There's a little bit of changes on the PCB or printed circuit board, but this is virtually the same controller, as we're obviously this is an entirely different beast here. And what really loosens up the jaw and sucks a fat meat is the fact that, as of current, no controller companies out there are making a premium paddle controller for the DualSense 5. Now, I have worked with Mega Mods in the past. They sent me out a controller for review, and they do currently have Xbox One and PlayStation 4 premium paddle controllers. However, they are in development, and in the near future, they will be having a Sony DualSense 5 controller with at least 2 paddles, trigger locks, and a couple of other cool features such as swappable thumbsticks. So that is really awesome. And they do honestly make fantastic controllers. There is a link down there in the description below if you want to save a little dough at checkout. But if you're playing a couch co-op game, for example, A Way Out, a PlayStation 4 game, you can be using a PS4 controller and your buddy next to you can be using a PS5 controller. No problem. They can both be connected to the PlayStation 5 at the same time. However, if you're trying to play a, multiplayer PS5 game like Sackboy, again, you guys are both going to have DualSenses in your hand. So in conclusion, most of the competitive first-person shooters and BRs that I play are on PC. And if they're not, then I'm playing them on the PS4. Well, on the PS5, but PS4 versions, in which case I can use my paddle controllers here. All the PS5 games we have out are like single-player, story-driven games like Miles Morales and Sackboy, and they actually do a phenomenal job of using the new features of the DualSense 5 here. So it's not a huge deal for me just to play those games with the DualSense 5 and competitive first-person shooters with the paddle controller or on my PC. But I will say I genuinely hope that premium controller companies like Scuf, AIM, Battle Beaver, Megamods, Hex Gaming start making DualSense 5 controllers. I'm sure there's a lot of R&D behind it, making sure that, you know, you're soldering the PCB correctly and whatnot, as it is a completely different controller. I know that from having disassembled 3 of them now. I know it is completely doable, it is completely feasible, and we will get them. And I also do recommend that Sony makes a first-party in-house premium controller, kind of like Microsoft did with the Elite and Elite 2. Those were fantastic controllers. They did have some quality control issues, more so on the first gen. Still on the second gen though. But that's awesome because that is a Microsoft product that you can remap and control from inside the accessory menu, and they actually worked pretty damn good. Now, Sony should release a in-house DualSense 5 controller with some nice sleek paddles, maybe built into the back shell here, a couple of trigger locks, maybe 3-stage trigger lock, magnetic swappable thumbsticks, which don't get me wrong, I could install those myself right now. I have a bunch of them that I, could have popped in here. Maybe mechanical face buttons. If you guys enjoyed this video, it was informative and entertaining, liking it helps it to get seen by more people, which in turn helps me grow my little channel, which I greatly appreciate. It's getting quite thick and quite girthy, ladies. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover a lot of news in the gaming community and industry, as well as tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.